So we'll start with the story first. There was this great devotee. There was a great Paramabhakta, a devotee. Now, he prayed every day, 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening to God. He prayed all the time. He did not do any work. He didn't go out, do work, nothing. Every day, all day, he spent praying. One day, he went on a trip to a neighboring village, and he had to pass through a dense forest. And it started raining heavily. As he was traveling, he fell into quicksand. He fell into a quicksand. It was rain, slush, and he was quickly sinking. And he knew, okay, I'm going to die. So he started praying again. He says, oh, Deva, I'm your greatest devotee. Please help me. Nothing happened. So in some time, a man walked by and he saw this sinking Bhakta. And he asked, oh, let me help you. The Bhakta said, no, don't help me. I've prayed to God. Deva will come and help me. So this man went away. After some time, a second man came through the same route. And he asked, oh my God, you're sinking. I'll help you. He said, no, don't help me. Deva, I prayed to God. He will come and help me. Third guy, same thing. So slowly the Bhakta sank. He refused everybody's help. He kept praying. God didn't do anything. And he sunk and he died. So he went to heaven and met God. He asked him, I'm your greatest Paramabhakta. I'm your devotee. When I was in trouble, you didn't help me. Why? You didn't even come and see me. And I prayed to you every day, 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening. And then Deva said, of course I came 3 times. I came 3 times, but you didn't take my help. If you won't make any effort to take my help, how can I help you? While I am always there, your effort is what makes the help possible. Remember that sentence. While I am always there, while Deva is always there, while God is always there, if you don't make effort, what's the point? No one has achieved success in anything without working for it. No child has ever achieved academic success without working for it. No adult has ever achieved success at work without working for it. Therefore, the absolute first thing to remember is we are a sum total of our actions. Yeah, we are a sum total of our actions. Let's take a simple example. Let's say you think of something. Let's say you think bad about somebody. When you think a bad thought, a thought like that, the thought itself doesn't do anything. But if you say it, it has a certain impact. Agreed? If you say it, automatically 3 people know about it, 5 people know about it, it has a certain impact. Let's call that about 20% impact. But if you act on it, if you go and riot, if you act on it, it has an even greater impact. So actions are what defines us. Thoughts do not, words to an extent, yeah, kind of. Actions, a great big deal. So we are a sum total of our actions. So no matter how much we post on Facebook or Insta, it's a material unless you act on it. All right, so we'll move to the next step. This is like a fundamental grounding. So there becomes the question, what do I act on? What should I do? So we can do all kinds of things. We can play video games, we can eat, we can go party, we can get into bad habits, we can do good stuff, we can study Bharatiya Samskriti, teach it to others, we can try to follow less, all kinds of actions. Right? We can perform actions after actions after actions. Days will pass, weeks will pass, months will pass, years will pass, decades will pass, and one day you'll be like 85 years old, you would have performed like 3,500,053 actions. Are they good? Did I do the right actions? Did I do all productive actions? What kind of actions are really useful? That, in order to answer that question, we have to understand who we are as people, who we are. We are human beings. And let's try to answer, what is a human being? How are we fundamentally different from animals? Every animal is endowed with an instinct to survive. Agreed? You go to any animal, try to kill it, try to hurt it, what does it do? Run away, hide, attack you again. Survival. The survival is called bhaya, the instinct to self-preserve. We are also endowed with that. As long as we have a home above our heads, as long as parents are around, as long as all conveniences are taken care of, I feel like a king. I'm thick, I can rock. But the minute there is a problem, the minute there is COVID, the minute that my parents are experiencing some problem, all of a sudden I'm panicking. So security is a fundamental instinct that all of us have. How else are animals and humans different? How else?
We are like more civilized than them.
We are more civilized than them. We are more civilized than them. Okay. Every animal and human being is endowed with an instinct called nidra, the instinct to rest. So every night we guys have to sleep. Every animal has to sleep. Same instinct. But an animal, a dog, a stray dog, if you go to India, you'll find a lot of dogs sleeping on the road, middle of the road, in garbage. They don't care. They can sleep anywhere because they're driven by instincts. Whereas we get to choose. If we have an important test the next day, we can burn the midnight oil and we can stay up. We can conquer sleep. That's how we are a little different. How else?
When we interact more openly with other people. Like two lions might be enemies, but two people might be friends.
Of course, yeah.
Two
Two
people might
people
be
might be friends.
enemies.
We can
And two lions might be
conquer,
friends.
yeah, we can conquer our natural instincts. The third natural instincts that every animal and every human being has is ahara, which means food, the instinct to eat, the instinct to nourish ourselves. A lion can only eat a cow or a deer or animals like that. A cow can only eat vegetation, biologically set. They can't change it. No matter how much you feed a cow meat, can't eat it. Impossible. A human has a choice, has an element of choice. So we can choose what we eat. We can choose to be vegetarian. We can choose how to lead our lives. We have an element of choice. And that is true to all of these instincts, whether it's nidra, sleeping or rest, whether it's ahara, food, whether it's bhaya, fear or security or self-preservation. We have the element of choice and we can choose. And we can say, I'm going to choose the right way or I'm going to choose the wrong way. Both are my responsibility. Nobody else's. I can choose to overcome fear. I can choose to become secure by threatening everybody that I'll kill them. Automatically, as soon as I threaten everybody, I kill them, I feel safe, I feel secure. I can choose to do that, but absolutely horrible way to do that. But I can choose to do that. Or I can build a nice house. I can build it in a place that is secure and safe. I can have friends around me. I can make sure that I keep in touch with my friends. I can make sure that I can keep in touch with nice friends, good friends, friends with good thoughts. People don't corrupt me. That's another way to feel secure. The choice is always ours. Nobody chooses them. This choice, this thing that we do, right? This choice is what we predominantly call as dharma. I make my own dharma. I make my own rules of life. I say, okay, cool. I'm gonna, I'm gonna make sure that I make friends with, Rajendra Mahodaya or Anjali or Isha or Vihan. I'm not gonna make friends with somebody else that I think is not good. I'm gonna choose my friend. This is my dharma. I'm gonna choose my friends. I'm gonna choose the things that I learn. I'm gonna learn Bharatiya Samskriti. I'm gonna learn Bhagavad Gita. I'm going to learn Mahabharata. Why? Because I think that's kind of useful for me. I choose my own dharma. And the more and more that my dharma has a positive effect on this world, the more that I'm a good person. The more and more my dharma has a negative effect on this world, I'm considered a bad person. Very easy. Cool? Okay. So this is like the second step to the process. We are a sum total of our actions. What kind of actions should we do? We have the unique ability to make a choice and perform actions. Now, what is the one thing, or the third step? The one thing that humans can do that animals cannot. Every animal eats, every animal sleeps, every animal acquires something for its consumption, every animal breeds or creates more of its same kind, every animal takes care of its young, every animal dies. A bird can build a nest, a human can build a house. They're both the same. If I spend my entire life just building a house, buying a car, taking care of children, acquiring something, and then I die, I've kind of lived my life exactly like an animal. I haven't done an ounce of anything different. So we come to ask, all of us agreed that we are different from animals. Agreed? Yeah? We're all different from animals. Now, there's no question about it. Now, therefore, we have to ask, how am I different from animals? And what action can I do that separates me and makes me a better person than any other animal out there? That action is called self-realization. It's a very abstract concept. The purpose of human life is to go closer and closer and closer to understanding, why am I here? Why am I different from a dog or a donkey or a monkey? That is the purpose of human life. And as long as whatever we learn or whatever we do enhances that understanding a little bit and a little bit and a little bit every day, we're doing the right thing. If we don't spend time thinking about it or doing any actions to enhance our life a little bit every day, then we're just living like an animal. This identification of right from wrong, this identification of what am I doing in this world, all that comes through knowledge. If we learn more, we can understand ourselves more. Agreed? So then comes the next step. What do I learn? There is so much to learn. There's mathematics, physics, chemistry. I go to Google, I can get zillions of hits no matter what I search for. We are in an information overload age. Most of our news comes from Instagram. That's the way we live. Most of what we learn comes from Instagram. What do I learn? There's so much out there. I can learn so much from a video game. I can get engrossed in it for hours, days, and keep learning from it. What do I learn? And therefore, there is a saying from the Upanishads. I'll say it. Please repeat after me. Ya vidya
Ya Vidya
sa vimuktaye.
Sa Vimuktaye.
Let's do it again. Ya vidya
Ya Vidya
sa vimuktaye.
Sa Vimuktaye.
Knowledge is that which takes us closer to understanding ourselves, understanding who am I, understanding the human being, understanding self-realization. That is knowledge. Everything else is kind of okay, nice to have. So what does that mean? You guys have seen or at least seen pictures of the Empire State Building? Yeah. How many foundations does the Empire State Building have? Any guesses?
One.
One, yeah, of course. How many foundations does your house have?
One.
It based on how well you build your foundation, you can build more and more on top of it. Agreed?
Yeah.
But does it make
Yeah.
sense to build like 18 different foundations just because it's Empire State Building?
No.
No.
Empire State Building still needs only one foundation. Every material possession that you have, your cell phone, your house, your pizzas, your ice creams, your beauty products, whatever it is, every single material possession you have is like a foundation. It is necessary to live a comfortable life. Absolutely true. It is necessary to build a comfortable life, but that is all it is necessary for. After you have a comfortable life, you have to build buildings on top of it, which is true knowledge, which is what we're going to talk about. But if you spend your entire life just building more and more foundation, I'm going to get more makeup, I'm going to get a Tesla car, I'm going to get 3 houses, I'm going to buy a house in India, I'm going to put more and more money in the bank. It's just like making the foundation stronger and stronger and stronger without even building a single floor on top of it. So think of the foundation as what is necessary for me to be comfortable so I don't die, and everything that comes on top of it as how am I supposed to live a human life. And therefore, ya vidya sa vimuktaye, those are the first floor, and the second floor, and the third floor, and the fourth floor are the building. That knowledge is what we should be learning throughout our lives. It won't be over in a day. It won't be over in one HSS sessions. It will happen until you turn 80, 90, 100, continuously. Everything else is just information. TV soap operas, video games, Netflix shows, WhatsApp chats, everything else is information. True knowledge comes from those things that helps us learn who we are. And those things are Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, Vedas, Upanishads. Oh my God, we should be so lucky that we have an Indian origin, because our ancestors, they gave us everything on a silver platter. They wrote everything. Imagine kids growing up in Africa. Imagine kids growing up in remote parts of the world who have no clue about these things. We have been given all these things on a silver platter. All we have to do is learn it. That's it. Others will have to fight hard entire lives to even identify what it is. We don't have to do that. Our parents have already exposed them to us. All our job is to learn it. And the beauty about this thing is there is no exam. There is no pressure. It's not like I have to finish learning the entire Mahabharata in 6 months and write a test, otherwise I'm done. Yeah, no such thing. You take a year to learn the Mahabharata. You take 6 years. You take 24 years, but learn every day, because that is the goal of the human life. That is the goal of human life. You learn every day so you can go closer and closer towards self-realization. If you don't learn every day and go closer and closer towards self-realization, you're just living a life like a monkey or a donkey or an ant, an elephant or anything like that. So simple choice, we are a sum total of our actions. Number one, yeah, let's follow these steps very clearly. Number one, we are a sum total of our actions. Number two, humans have an element of choice. Animals only have instincts. So we can choose what to act on. We can choose what to learn. Number three, the purpose of human life is to go closer and closer and closer towards knowing what a human being is. Number four, the only way to do that is to learn, is to acquire knowledge. Number five, knowledge is ya vidya sa vimuktaye. That knowledge that takes us closer towards self-realization. That is knowledge. Everything else is information. And number six, learn what takes you closer to self-realization. And an example of that is Bhagavad Gita. An example of that is Bhagavad Gita. So we all, kind of heard, oh, we should learn Bhagavad Gita. We should learn some slokas, blah, blah, blah. Why? These are the reasons. Just travel through the steps. I'll summarize it again for you. We are a sum total of our actions. Therefore, what we act determines who we are. We have an element of choice. We can decide what to act on. The purpose of human life is to go towards self-realization. And therefore, we have to learn the right things. And one of the right things is the Bhagavad Gita. Good so far? We'll take one shloka, go through these processes, and see if it actually makes sense in our lives. And see if what I'm saying has some, substance to it, or am I just another one of those propaganda guys saying, oh, learn Bhagavad Gita? So we'll see if it has any logical sense to it. Yeah, cool, ready? So open your Gurukula apps. Hopefully you're in the English section. Scroll down to a section called 3-Minute Gita. There is a section called 3-Minute Gita. And touch chapter 1, shloka 1. Chapter 1, shloka 1. And then touch the story section of it. So you will see the full shloka. So let's go through the journey with me. And once you go through the journey, decide for yourself whether this journey is for you. And then you can decide to pursue it or not. So the first shloka, I'm going to say it. You can see it in front of you. Repeat after me. Dhritarashtra uvacha.
Dhritarashtra uvacha.
Let's try it again. All of you together. Dhritarashtra uvacha.
Dhritarashtra uvacha.
Dharma kshetre kurukshetre.
Dharma kshetre kurukshetre.
Dharma kshetre kurukshetre.
Dharma kshetre kurukshetre.
Samaveta yuyutsavaha.
Samateva yuyutsavaha.
Samaveta yuyutsavaha.
Samaveta yuyutsavaha.
Mamaka pandavaschaiva.
Mamaka pandavaschaiva.
Mamaka pandavaschaiva.
Mamaka pandavaschaiva.
Kimakurvata Sanjaya.
Kimakurvata Sanjaya.
Kimakurvata Sanjaya.
Kimakurvata Sanjaya.
Okay, I'll need a volunteer. I'm going to pick a volunteer. Isha, can you read out the English meaning of the shloka, please? So everybody can hear.
Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, assembled in Kurukshetra, which is known for its dharma, eager for battle. What did my people, or the Kauravas, and the Pandavas do?
Cool. Can you read it again?
Yes. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, assembled in Kurukshetra, which is known for its dharma, eager for battle, what did my people, the Kauravas, and the Pandavas do?
Cool. Simple sentence. Is it easy to understand? Why is such a simple question placed in a scripture called Bhagavad Gita, and we've all been told for 5,000 years that we have to study it? Obviously, this question can't give me any super spiritual knowledge. What is the absolute first verse of the shloka?
Dhritarashtra says.
Dhritarashtra Uvacha, or Dhritarashtra said. Who is Dhritarashtra?
Dhritarashtra was the son of the.
He's the
Dad of
he's
the crew.
the father of the Kauravas and
Father of the Kauravas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is his trait? He has something.
He's blind.
He's
Yes,
blind.
He's selfish.
blind.
He's blind. Yeah.
Mm.
Absolute first is he's
And
blind. He's also selfish. Yeah. But he's
Yeah.
blind. Cool. Awesome. So let's go to the next step. Dhritarashtra had a brother called Pandu, which most of us know.
He died.
Pandu was not blind. Dhritarashtra was blind. And while they grew up, how many of you have siblings? Quite a few of you? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah,
played
all right.
Dhritarashtra.
So while they were growing up, while Dhritarashtra and Pandu were growing up, Dhritarashtra was consistently better than Pandu in almost everything. Even though he was blind, he was a better student. He could learn things faster. He was better at most skills. Even in archery, even though he was blind, he could hear sounds and shoot arrows. He was really, really good. He had an absolute sharp mind. He could learn everything really fast. When both of them grew up, who became the king?
Pandava.
Pandu became the next king of Hastinapura.
Oh, yeah, Pandu, sorry.
So now
Now-
Dhritarashtra is jealous. He's like,
Now,
I-
yeah, even jealous
He's
comes
mad.
later. First thing, what was he feeling?
He was
He was
wrong.
wrong.
he's like,
He
I
was-
should've been king.
He was
Kavya?
wrong.
He was wronged. He was wronged. The one thing that Dhritarashtra did not realize is life is not about what cards you get. It's about how you play the cards that you already got. Can't choose the cards. Can we say, I kind of like, his parents better. So can we change my parents? No, that's the card. This is it. Done. This is the card you got. Life is about how you play your cards, not what cards you get.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow and focus on how you go with the flow. Not just go with the flow, but how you go with the flow. Remember, we are human beings, so we have a choice on how we go with the flow. Animals don't have a choice. We have a choice. Yes, go with the flow, but also focus on how you go with the flow. Dhritarashtra, so let's focus on this, zero in on this. Dhritarashtra's single biggest problem was he focused on an opinion that he was wrong. He was focused on what cards he got. He was always focused on, why did I have to be born blind? I didn't do anything wrong. I studied everything really well. I did everything fine. Why me? Why did this happen to me? Is that a question that we've all asked ourselves at least some point in our lives?
Yeah.
Why did this happen to me?
So,
Why me? Why did she have to lie to me? Why did he have to do this? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is. We've all asked that question at some point in our lives.
Yes.
Very similar to what Dhritarashtra felt. He felt, I was wrong.
How dare
We
you?
all have the answers in life, like answer to every question in life. Yes, no.
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 So symbolically, can we consider ourselves blind when it comes to the concept of God and self-realization?
Maybe. Yes.
Maybe, kind of.
Well, if you say yes, if you say you're not blind to concept of God realization, I would assume that you'd already be a saint. Be like,
Okay,
So it's
"Oh,"
kind of like
and
like
light
what
coming out of Kavya's head. Yeah.
So it's kind of like what Dumbledore said. Like it's not like our choices define who we are, not
Our choices define who we are. Yeah.
our-
The concept of Dhritarashtra, a blind man feeling wronged, is very similar to us because we've all asked that question. I've been wrong. Why did I feel this? This shloka should be read on that day when we feel wrong. So let's go to the next part. The next part of the shloka is Dharma Kshetre. Repeat after me. Dharma Kshetre.
Dharma Kshetre.
Kshetre.
Now this we have to split into two. The word dharma kshetre has dharma and kshetre. Agreed? Cool so far?
Yes.
Dharma is a word that we've all heard many times. And the word dharma has a very specific meaning. I'll say it, repeat after me. Dhriti kshama,
Dhriti Sama.
Shama.
dhriti kshama,
Dhriti Sama.
dhamosteyam,
Sneha.
shaucham,
Shaucham.
indriya nigraha.
Indriya Nigraha.
I'll say it again. Indriya nigraha.
Indriya Nigraha.
Haha.
Hihi,
Hihi.
hihi,
Hihi.
vidya,
Vidya.
Vidya.
satyam,
Satyam.
akrodhaha.
Akrodha.
Now
Haha.
I'm going to say it, the shloka. Dhriti kshama dhamosteyam shauchamindriya nigraha dhir vidya satyam akrodhaha dashakam dharma lakshanam. So the shloka says there are 10 qualities of dharma. One who follows all these 10 qualities is said to be a person of dharma. The 10 qualities of dharma are dhriti, which means steadfastness. I will think 100 times before starting an action, but once I start, I will not stop. I will think 1,000 times whether this is the right thing to do for me or wrong thing to do for me. But once I make a decision, I won't go back on it. Dhriti, steadfastness. I will think 1,000,000 times whether I'm capable of waking up at 5:30 in the morning. But once I decide and set the alarm, I won't hit the snooze button. Dhriti, steadfastness. The second quality, kshama, which means compassion or forbearance, tolerance. No matter what happens in that process that I start doing an action, there will be obstacles, but I will put up with the obstacles. I will put up with the pain. Forbearance. Agreed? Understood the second one? Dhriti, kshama. Third meaning, third quality, damaha. While I am doing an action, my attention and concentration will also be on that action and not somewhere else. I am in the session with HSS today at 11:50 a.m. My 100% concentration will be here. I will not put myself on mute or turn off my video and start doing something else at this time. Might as well go do that thing. 100% concentration on what you are doing while you are doing it. Damaha, quality of dharma. Dhriti, kshama, damaha, asteyam, non-stealing. I will not steal any possessions. I will not steal somebody's happiness. If I feel that posting something in Insta is going to hurt somebody, I will not post it. If I feel that saying something to my mom will hurt her, I will not say it. If I feel that my mom keeps calling me for dinner, please come eat, please come eat, please come for dinner. It's already 7:30. I've called you 6 times. I've called you 8 times. If I feel that that's going to hurt her, I won't do it. Asteyam, non-stealing of somebody's happiness. Cool? Dhriti, kshama, damaha, asteyam, shaucham, cleanliness. I will be clean in my body, which most of us do, hopefully. Body and also in my thoughts. I will not think bad thoughts. And if I end up thinking bad thoughts for some reason, I will not say bad words. If I end up saying bad words for some reason, I will not turn it into action and make it bad action. I'll try to control it in every step of the way. I'll be clean. I will be clean in my thoughts. Okay, for some reason, bad thoughts have entered. I will not put it into words. Okay, my God, I made the mistake of putting it into words. I will at least stop it before it turns into action. Shaucham, cleanliness. Dhriti, kshama, damaha, asteyam, shaucham, Indriya Nigraha, I will be a master of my senses. Indriya Nigraha, I will be a master of my senses. My senses won't be the master of me. Imagine yourself driving in a car and you see a big board called Cold Stone Creamery, and immediately you're like, ooh, ice cream.
Cold Stone Creamery is so yummy.
Oh my
Best ice
God,
cream.
so good. Yeah,
Best ice cream. Best ice cream there.
the best ice cream in the world. I'm with you. Hands down, best ice cream in the world. I love it. And as soon as you see that board, Cold Stone Creamery, what happens? If you are the one driving the car automatically takes the exit. And you're driving towards the ice cream parlor. You're parking, standing in line. Even before you know it, you're like, this is so good. And if your parents are driving the car, you start pestering immediately. Dad, mom, please. So what just happened? What? Yeah, come on. Yeah, what
Your
just happened?
senses became the master of you.
The senses became the master of you. My eyesight took over. My sight decided what my action should be. I did not decide that I should have Cold Stone Creamery today. My senses decided. That is the opposite of Indriya Nigraha. Indriya Nigraha, if I feel like eating a cup of ice cream, I will do it when I want to do it. I won't let my senses decide. Indriya Nigraha. Dhriti, Kshama, Tamaha, Asteyam, Shaucham, Indriya Nigraha, Dhihi, intelligence. I will use a little bit of thought. We all agreed we are a little bit different from animals. Animals are driven by instincts. We have the element of intelligence in all of us.
Yeah.
In most cases, we pride ourselves on our intelligence. And yet, how many times we end up posting something without thinking twice about it? Just like that. And then like, oh, I wish I can take that back. Or saying words without thinking about it. I probably shouldn't have said it. Or doing something without thinking about it. Use your intelligence in thought. Use your intelligence in words. Use your intelligence in action. Dhihi. Dhriti. Dhriti, Kshama, Damaha, Asteyam, Shaucham, Indriya Nigraha, Dhihi, Vidya, knowledge. And we spoke about it a little while ago. I will make knowledge an everlasting part of my life. Knowledge does not end as soon as I pass out of high school. It does not end as soon as I pass out of college. It does not end as soon as I pass out of masters. It does not end as soon as I get a doctorate. It continues throughout my life. And what is knowledge? Ya vidya sa vimuktaye. Knowledge is that which helps take me closer towards self-realization. Which is why you have a tool like Gurukula app right now. We all have tools, various tools. You have the HSS Shaka every week, a source of knowledge. I will not stop it. I will continue it throughout my life. Dhriti, Kshama, Damaha, Asteyam, Shaucham, Indriya Nigraha, Dhihi, Vidya, Satyam. I will make truth. Satyam is truth. I will make truth an integral part of my life. In every bone of my body, I will not tell white lies. I will not tell white lies. There is no such thing as a white lie. Every lie is a lie. And guaranteed we'll have to pay for it someday. Guaranteed. Satyam, I will not tell lies. I will make truth an integral part of my life. Dhriti, Kshama, Damaha, Asteyam, Shaucham, Indriya Nigraha, Dhihi, Vidya, Satyam, and the last, Akrodhaha. I won't get angry. Gautama Buddha said, anger is like taking hot charcoal in your hand with the intention of throwing it on somebody. Yeah, if I throw it on somebody, it's going to hurt them. But where is the hot charcoal first? Where is it? In my hand. So who's it going to burn first? It's going to burn me. Anger burns the person who feels angry most of all, more than 10,000 times more than you can hurt anybody else. So I will not get angry. So 10 qualities. Dhriti, steadfastness. Kshama, forbearance, tolerance. Damaha, I will have my concentration on something while I'm doing the work. Dhriti, Kshama, Damaha. Asteyam, non-stealing. I won't steal anybody's happiness. Dhriti, Kshama, Damaha, Asteyam, Shaucham. I'll be clean in my body, in my thought, in my words, and my action. Indriya nigraha, I will control my senses. I won't let the senses be my master. Dhihi, I will use my intelligence in every word and thought and action. Vidya, I will make knowledge an integral part of my life. Satyam, I will make truth an integral part of my life. And akrodaha, I will not get angry. One who follows all these 10 qualities is said to be a person of dharma. And the magic of these 10 qualities are, if you make any one quality, an integral part of your life, all 9 other qualities will automatically be part of you. Okay. In the Bhagavad Gita shloka, it's where it starts with dharma kshetre. We have covered 1/2 of the first word. The second half is what? In dharma kshetre. Kshetre. In the word kshetram in Sanskritam means a field. A field. What do you plant in a field? Seeds. And seeds grow into what?
Seedlings. Yes.
Saplings,
saplings.
and then plants, and then trees. What comes from trees?
Fruits.
Fruits.
Fruits. Cool. Awesome. And what do we do with the fruit?
We eat
Eat
it.
it.
In Sanskritam, word kshetram also means human being. What do you plant in the human being? In kshetram, in a field, you plant seeds. In a human being, you plant thoughts.
Or not.
Thoughts grow into ideas and then eventually grow into words, eventually grow into action, and we reap the benefit, we reap the fruits of our action.
Action.
And what kind of thoughts should I be planting in my mind? I should be planting thoughts of dharma. Yes, agreed?
Yes.
Not adharmic thoughts, dharmic thoughts, which is why the first word says dharma kshetre.
Dharma.
Human beings with thoughts of dharma. So this blind man, Dhritarashtra, is asking, I am supposed to be a human being with thoughts of dharma, dharma kshetre. I am also an action doing person, kurukshetre. But my mind has bad thoughts and good thoughts, which are symbolized by the rest of the shloka. What does the second line say? Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva. Dhritarashtra said Mamakaha. Mamakaha means my people. When Dhritarashtra says my people, who is he referring to?
Kauravas.
Kauravas.
Kauravas, right? Assembled in Kurukshetra, what did my people, the Kauravas and the Pandavas, do? So Dhritarashtra is asking, this dharma kshetra, this kshetram, this human body, which is supposed to have thoughts of dharma, has Pandava thoughts and Kaurava thoughts.
Isn't this also a segue into like the fact that like there are less Pandavas than Kauravas? Like the Kauravas are like 101. And so what this represents is like Kurukshetram is your mind, right? And then so the Pandavas are the good thoughts that come into your mind, and the Kauravas are the bad thoughts. So the bad thoughts always outnumber the good thoughts, but it's your choice whether you choose to go bad thoughts or good thoughts.
Absolutely. Wonderful point,
Yeah.
Anirudh.
Not gonna lie,
Bad
but I
thoughts
kind
are
of think
numerous in number. And they are like Kauravas. In this dharma kshetram, in this human body, which is supposed to have thoughts of dharma. But let's take an example. Why do we say thoughts of dharma and adharma in our head? We took an example, right? I think 100 times, I want to follow the quality called dhriti, steadfastness. I think 100 times and say, okay, from tomorrow morning, I'll wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'll do 45 minutes of exercises and maybe 15 minutes of yoga every day in the morning. Who makes the decision?
Me.
You.
Well, yeah,
I make the decision.
me. Yeah.
Not
Who makes the
you.
decision? I make the decision. And then what do? I take my alarm, or I tell Alexa, wake me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And 5 o'clock in the morning, what does Alexa do? Does Alexa do her job?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She does her job. It's a machine. Better
But
do
you
that
don't
job.
do yours.
Imagine it's 5 o'clock in the morning. You set your alarm. The alarm is ringing at that time, at that moment. Who wakes up first? Do I wake up first, or does the Duryodhana in me wake up first and say snooze? There is no rule in life that says if you did not do it on a particular day, there is no rule that says you cannot do it the next day. You failed today, try again tomorrow. Fail tomorrow, try again later. But the key is try every day. All right, let's get back to this. in the morning, who wakes up first? My Duryodhana quality wakes up first?
Yes.
My Yudhishthira or Bhima quality or Arjuna quality also wakes up?
Yeah.
And there is a
Yeah.
battle in the
Kind of.
morning?
Yep.
There is a
Yeah.
battle in the morning?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that battle takes place where? In this
Deer
Dharma
head.
Kshetram?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
Dharma
Yeah.
Kshetram? It takes place in the Dharma Kshetram?
Yeah.
One saying
And
with
what have we already established? That we are blind. We don't have knowledge of self-realization. Agreed?
Yep.
Yes.
So the first shloka is really asking, I am blind. I don't have the right knowledge. My head is exploding with Pandava thoughts and Kaurava thoughts. I know for a fact what the 10 dharmic qualities are. I know what I should do as a human being, but I do not know how to do it. And I'm failing. What should I be doing? Is the crux of the first shloka. Like a blind man, I ask, what should I be doing? Yes, Kavya.
Or we can like sometimes you just compromise. Like instead of shutting off your alarm completely, you just snooze it. You compromise between them two, but still you go off topic of your like actual goal. First one.
Yep,
part of your
absolutely, very
head,
true.
part of your head saying, "Come on, it's time to wake up." You're the one who set the alarm, and then the other part's saying, "Like, come on,
Yeah.
sleep. You have another hour."
Compromising
It's-
is like
that's
the
wh-
best worst thing that you can do, because yes, it's like some phrase that my teacher told us last year. It's like, even if you can't do it today, or like you can't do the whole 50 minutes of yoga, at least do 5 or 10 minutes. Do as much as you can. Even if you
Yeah.
can't do all of it, just do as much as you can.
That's why I have like 5 alarms in one morning, because I don't want to wake up, so it just keeps bothering
one-
me. So I eventually get bored and wake up.
One rings at 6, one rings at 6:15, the other at 6:30.
So the magic of life is
Yeah.
we can use any tools at our disposal. If I decide to wake up at 5, I can start keeping my alarms from 4. Nobody stops me. We have been given only X number of breaths. One breath, done, can't get it back. That second is gone. Maybe I have 3 million, I don't know, 3 billion breaths in my lifetime, but one is gone. Can't get it back. So even though it is okay to compromise today and do better tomorrow, remember, with each passing day, we are losing that one commodity that we can never earn back. Stock market falls, we can earn it back. You fail a test, you can write it again. You fail a grade, you can study the grade again. You lose time. Get it again, not get it
Not
again.
get it again.
Impossible. First shloka in the Bhagavad Gita talks about all of us who are blind to the concept of self-realization, who are asking, me as a human being, having known that I have to perform dharmic actions, I'm always conflicted with good thoughts and bad thoughts in my head, which is the Kurukshetram, which is the battlefield. What should I be doing? And the rest of the Bhagavad Gita is an answer to that question. The rest of the Bhagavad Gita is an answer to that question. Now we all know why to study it. And the second part of this is how to study it. One of the ways to study it is, which I've written in the Gurukula app, you pick the 3-minute Gita section. Each Gita shloka is told in an audio of just 3 minutes, including the shloka recitation, a word by word meaning, and a short interpretation on how do we make it a reality in our lives. So this whole thing shouldn't take more than 3 or 6 minutes if you want to listen to it twice. So maybe you guys listen to 1 shloka a day. Okay, 1 is too much. 1 a week, 3 minutes a week, not asking too much. Try it and read the interpretation at the bottom. It will change your life if you're able to do it consistently for a few weeks. Then things start making sense. Has anybody ever become a doctor without having gone to medical school?
No.
Oh,
Has anybody become a doctor without having passed 12th grade?
Probably. Hopefully not.
No.
no.
Similarly, in order to understand the Bhagavad Gita, which happens in the 5th volume of the Mahabharatam, you have to understand the Mahabharatam that happened till that point in time. That is the best way to study it. The Gurukula app also has Mahabharatam as audiobooks. Each audio chapter is only about 6 minutes in length. There are about 100 chapters. You can literally learn the entire Mahabharata, every single story without missing anything. If you spend 10 minutes a day, 6 minutes a day in about 100 days. So if you do that and then study the Bhagavad Gita, it makes a tremendous amount of sense. Otherwise, it's like a kid who's gone straight to medical school and trying to learn how to cure cancer. You have to go through the steps and then it makes a lot more sense. So that's another method that you guys can try. I had a lot of fun being with you guys here today. If you have any questions, please ask me.
It's not a question, but it's a comment. So I'm in a class where I'm memorizing the entire Bhagavad Gita. I'm almost done. And like I can say that like while you're learning it, it's really hard. But like once you say that entire chapter just once, and like you know that you made no mistakes whatsoever, it's just like a different level of satisfaction. Because like you have to like spend so much time on it.
That's brilliant.
And yeah, I want to add on to that. Like it always feels so intimidating. Like I think a few weeks ago I started to memorize the Shiv Tandav Stotram, and I was like, oh my god, this is so long. It goes so fast, and it's super hard. Like nobody in my family can say it. But once like I actually set to it, and I actually felt like I want to do this, it like went back. It like only took me a few days to memorize the whole thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, my
Brilliant.
teacher said like if you think of it as 700 that we have to memorize in like a couple months, then you're never gonna find the courage to do it. But if you just think 3 shlokas every day,
Yeah,
it's very easy.
yeah, little by little, every day.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
like
That
it's
is
kind of like
progress.
when you learn to ride a bike. Like at first it seems impossible, but then like now I can like, do like no-handed biking, and it's just easy.
Very true. All true. All right. I had a lot of fun being with you guys today. Hopefully you learned a little bit, and you guys have a tool now that you can use if you want to, if you find it interesting. Please do so. Rajender ji, dhanyawadaha for inviting me here today.
Thank you.
I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with you guys. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dhanyavadamu, Sriramji.
Thank you.
I think
Thank you.
it's enriching. It's invaluable. Your session is. I'm sure all these young Kishores and Kishorinis has got that drive and that little push that they needed today to begin their journey, to pick this up from where we are leaving today and then move on. It could be one shloka a day, or maybe as Sriramji said, it could be one shloka thoroughly understanding, and maybe in a week. But again, there is a Mahabharat audio is available in the app. I think
And
as
comic
suggested,
books.
and comic book as suggested. Actually, understand Mahabharat story, the preceding few chapters before you get to Bhagavad Gita. That way, you are actually putting a firm ground, and it may answer a ton of questions in terms of what, how, where, when, all those kinds of things. Which we will bring back, Sriramji, in probably a couple of weeks or in a month, and then we will have another session so that we are all equipped better to do this journey together. So, bahut dhanyawad, Sriramji, for your time, and it's very, very helpful and exciting.
All right, great meeting you guys. Bye bye.